Let's start with the most innocent daily urge and work our way towards the most violent survival instinct. Number 8. Why you wake up at 3 a.m., you slept 8 hours, and you still want to faceplant into your desk at 2 p.m. Or you're wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling like it owes you an explanation. This isn't you being broken. It's your brain running the original sleep software. Your ancestors didn't sleep in one long block. They slept a few hours, woke in the dark, checked for predators, maybe had a snack, or made more little humans. That was biphasic sleep, and it was completely normal. They also napped when the sun turned hostile because hunting in 100-degree heat was a great way to become someone else's lunch. Broken up sleep kept them alive. It's hard to get eaten by a saber tooth when you're checking for danger every few hours. But now you have a 9 a.m. job, a boss who thinks napping means you're lazy, streetlights that murdered true darkness, and a neighbor who treats 2 a.m. as drum practice. So when your eyes die after lunch, that's your caveman brain reminding you that humans used to sleep then. When you wake at 3 a.m., feeling strangely energetic, that same brain is wondering why you're not outside checking for wolves. So go ahead, smash that like button. Tell your inner caveman it's his reward for surviving another 2 p.m. ambush. And if you subscribe, welcome to the tribe. No 3 a.m. wolf patrol required. We'll keep the fire stoked and the facts coming. Your ancestors would be proud, or at least they wouldn't eat you. Number 7. The deadly herd mentality trap. You see a crowd staring at the sky, you look up too, like an idiot. You don't know what you're looking for. Could be a bird, could be Superman, could be nothing, but there you are, neck craned, joining the Skywatcher convention. That's herd mentality. Your brain says, if everyone's doing it, do it or die. Back when your ancestors wore loincloths, this kept them alive. If the whole tribe suddenly ran, you didn't stop to ask questions. You ran because the guy who stood there wondering why everyone was running got eaten by whatever they were running from. Following the group meant safety, shared food, protection, and not becoming a saber-tooth's lunch. Your brain gives you a dopamine hit just for conforming. It's nature's way of saying, good job not being the weirdo left behind. Now, that same instinct makes you buy GameStop stock because Reddit told you to. It makes you wear ugly shoes because everyone else does. It makes you believe that obviously fake story because your aunt shared it and got 50 likes. Your caveman brain can't tell the difference between follow the tribe to water and follow strangers on TikTok doing a dangerous challenge. It just knows different equals death. Number 6. Why free favors feel like debts. Someone holds the door for you and suddenly you feel like you owe them your firstborn child. A coworker brings you coffee and now you're mentally calculating how to repay a life debt. That's not drama. That's your brain panicking about tribal politics. For your ancestors, reciprocity wasn't just nice, it was survival. You share your mammoth meat today. I share my berries tomorrow. We both live. If you hoarded your food like a jerk, you'd be eating snow for dinner when winter came. Your brain evolved to feel physically uncomfortable when someone does something for you. An itch you can't scratch until you've paid them back. That kept the tribe functioning. Everyone helped everyone, or everyone died. Now marketers use this against you because it's literally their job. A free sample at Costco makes you feel obligated to buy a 10-pound jar of pickles you'll never finish. A car salesman offers you coffee and suddenly you're considering that overpriced sedan. Someone once lent you a pen and now you'll say yes to ridiculous requests. Your prehistoric brain can't tell the difference between this person shared food so I won't starve and this person gave me a free keychain at a convention. It just knows debts must be paid or the tribe will cast you out to die alone. Number 5. The real reason you hate change. You walk into a pitch black room and your heart rate spikes. You stare at unfamiliar food like it's about to attack. That's not you being a baby. That's your brain trying to keep you from going extinct. For your ancestors, unknown meant dead. That rustling in the bushes could be wind, could be something with teeth. The ones who assumed wind got eaten. The ones who ran lived to pass on their paranoid genes. That weird berry you've never seen might be delicious. It might also make you poop yourself to death. They didn't have WebMD, they had trial and error meant death. So your brain evolved to treat anything new like it's trying to kill you because usually it was. It floods you with stress hormones when you meet the unknown. It screams, danger. Stick with what you know, The familiar won't eat you. Now that same instinct makes you order the same restaurant dish for 10 years straight. It's why you won't try the new app everyone's using. It's why you'd rather stay in a job you hate than risk something new. Your caveman brain can't tell the difference between an unknown predator in the dark and unknown cuisine at that new Thai place. It just knows different equals dangerous. Number 4, why you obsess over control. You're in the passenger seat pressing an imaginary brake pedal. Your perfectly planned day gets ruined and you want to scream. That's your control-obsessed caveman brain having a meltdown. Ancestors who controlled their environment lived. They built better shelters, stored food properly, planned hunting strategies. The ones who just went with the flow became fossils. Control meant the difference between eating and being eaten, staying warm and freezing to death. Your brain rewards control with dopamine because control meant survival. This drive made us innovators. We didn't accept that fire was scary, we controlled it. We didn't hope for food, we planted it. But now your brain applies that life or death need for control to everything. A traffic jam makes your brain act like you're trapped by predators. A meeting running late feels like a famine. Someone loading the dishwasher wrong triggers your survival instincts as if they're sabotaging your shelter. You try to control things that don't matter, the weather, other people's opinions, which way the toilet paper hangs. Your ancient brain can't tell the difference between control this fire or we freeze and control this PowerPoint presentation. It just knows lack of control meant death. Number 3, the secret psychology of losing. You find $100 on the street and think, nice. You lose $100 from your wallet and you're plotting revenge on the universe for weeks. That's not drama. That's your brain treating every loss like it's going to kill you. For your ancestors, losing was worse than not finding. Lose your only spear and you're on the menu. Lose your food stash and starvation is next. Not finding extra food was disappointing. Losing what you had was death. So your brain evolved to absolutely freak out about losses. It makes losses feel twice as painful as gains feel good. It's nature's way of saying, don't you dare lose the thing keeping you alive. This kept your ancestors from making dumb gambles with resources. They wouldn't risk their sure food supply for maybe more food. But now the same instinct makes you do stupid things. You hold a tanking stock because selling feels like admitting defeat. You keep an ugly shirt you never wear because throwing it away feels like losing. You stay in a dead-end job because the fear of losing steady income outweighs potential gains. Your caveman brain can't tell the difference between losing this spear means I'll starve and losing this $20 bet means I'll feel bad. It just knows loss equals death. Number 2, the toxic truth about status. You see a nicer car and suddenly feel like garbage. You open Instagram and wonder why everyone's life looks better. That's your status-obsessed monkey brain doing what it does best, making you miserable. In the tribe, status wasn't about looking cool. It was about not dying. High status meant first dibs on food, better mating options, and the tribe actually listened when you said, hey, maybe we shouldn't poke that bear. Low status meant eating scraps, no reproductive success, and nobody caring if you lived or died. Your brain literally drugs you with feel-good chemicals when your status goes up and tortures you with stress hormones when it drops. Status equaled survival. That competition made the tribe stronger. But now your brain applies that life or death status anxiety to the dumbest things. Someone has more followers than you and your brain acts like they're stealing your food. A coworker gets promoted and it feels like you might as well be cast out of the tribe. A neighbor gets a pool and your survival instincts kick in like you're losing territory. You buy things you can't afford to impress people you don't like. You post carefully curated lies on social media. You feel genuinely depressed because someone else's vacation looked better than yours. Your ancient brain still thinks survival depends on rank. It can't tell the difference between low status means no food and low status means fewer LinkedIn connections. So you chase status like your life depends on it because once upon a time, it did. Number 1, why unfairness triggers intense rage. Someone cuts in line and you instantly fantasize about violence. A coworker steals your idea and you spend the next week plotting their downfall. That's not petty. That's your brain treating unfairness like a threat to your survival. Because it used to be. In a tribe of 30 people, fairness wasn't a nice concept. It was life or death. The guy hoarding food while others starved was literally killing the tribe. The freeloader who didn't hunt but ate anyway was stealing resources from people who actually worked. Your brain evolved to go absolutely nuclear when it detects unfairness. It floods you with rage because unfairness could destroy the whole group. Without the group, everyone dies. This instinct kept your ancestors honest. Nobody wanted to be the cheater who got cast out, or worse, got their skull caved in by angry tribe mates. Fairness meant survival. Detecting cheaters meant survival. Punishing unfairness meant survival. But now, the same instinct makes you lose your mind over things that won't kill anyone. Someone takes 2 free samples instead of 1 and your brain acts like they're stealing food from your children. A rich guy buys another yacht while others struggle, and your fairness detector goes haywire. Your boss plays favorites, and it feels like it might as well be threatening your life. You can't let go of small slights because your brain thinks restoring fairness is a survival issue. You obsess over injustices you can't fix. You get physically angry reading about unfairness online. Your ancient brain can't tell the difference between this unfairness will destroy the tribe and this unfairness is annoying but harmless. It just knows unfairness meant death. So you rage, you obsess, and you can't let things go because your brain still thinks the tribe's survival depends on everyone getting a fair share of mammoth meat. That's all the good stuff for now. Subscribe to catch the next one.